Hi everyone, it's me again, your friendly neighborhood physical therapist. All right, I'd like to talk to you today about the fascial system, fascia. Fascia, F-A-S-C-I-A, is a Latin word which literally translates to unorganized. Okay, unorganized in the sense that it has no form. So when Vesalius started performing cadaver dissections 500 years ago, he would identify certain structures that had form, and those were your muscles, bones, nerves, blood vessels, organs. Pretty definitive stuff. But the fascia was something that he found in between the interstitial layers, between the bones, all these interfaces, but it had no structure. So he just thought, well, it's like webbing and it connects everything, and we're not going to study it. So they didn't. And they found here recently that the fascia happens to be the largest organ in your body because it is in everything. It permeates everything. So the World Fascial Congress was established, I could be wrong on this, about 15 to 18 years ago. And now they're studying fascia, and they found that it is the largest organ in the body. It's not your skin, contrary to popular belief. So what I have here to explain what fascia is okay. I hope I'm not offending my friends who are vegetarians, so please use it as an educational tool, nothing more. Anyway, what I have here are slices of ribeye steaks. Ribeye is perfect as an example for this. I tell my patients all the time, if you want to understand what fascia is all about, then take a ribeye steak. All right. So what we have here is a piece of steak. I don't really know what part of the cow this is, but you can see there's fat, and there's the muscle, and there's more fat in between. And if we pull this apart, you will see that stuff in the middle? That you can break with your finger. All right, and it repeats itself throughout everywhere. There's, that just broke. And there's more. See that? Right there. So you can run your finger through that. As a manual therapist like myself, I stick my fingers through the interstitial layers, and where it can separate, we create separation. And why is that? When two layers come together, they slide on each other. All right? So there's more fascia there. It has the consistency of cotton candy. There it is. So when you yawn and you stretch and you tear the fascia to a certain degree. Not all of it, of course, tears. I'm tearing the meat apart, obviously, with my bare hands. But you can see how easily it yields. All right? It yields to the pressure. So, in the human body, we have, obviously that's within the muscle itself, right? But think of the biceps as an example. The biceps attaches to the shoulder, and then it attaches to the forearm. When it contracts, it moves my elbow. All right. In the process of contraction, that muscle lengthens and shortens. We call that contraction. And it slides. So the fascia here constantly gets moved and stretched. So look, I should be able to stick my fingers underneath that bicep and lift it up. And that does not hurt. So if you're doing this, which is a hand to mouth, you're going to have loose biceps. So if you think about it, nobody hardly ever complains about elbow pain, right? But the people that sit, the connective tissue does not move. All right? So if I sit and my hips are bent like this, the connective tissue between the psoas and the iliacus organizes itself short. Your body creates new cells every second, and there's a finite number of cells. So let's take, for example, my arm here. Let's say I have 100 cells extending through that arm. As the old cells die, a process which we refer to as apoptosis, right? Because they're replaced by the new cells. Remember, let's say you have 100 cells. You're always going to have 100 cells regardless. So if I train my tissues, my new cells, to organize in this fashion, I'm going to have long cells. So for these people that reach out frequently, you're going to have a loose shoulder. But if your idea of reaching up is only about this far, you're going to get stuck there at some point. So people that sit, or they look down like this a lot, we used that example in the last video. These people train their fascia, their connective tissue, to be short. And so over time, the fascia becomes dense and established, and next thing you know, it doesn't stretch anymore. So no amount of stretching will get you out of this pattern. So somebody like me goes in there and we start to loosen up the connective tissue. There's a few ways to do that, but it's not stretching. It's called myofascial release, and we try to organize the connective tissue so that it actually supports the bones and the joints correctly. And we loosen that up, and then everything lines up correctly again, and you restore motion. When you have full range of motion and you have correct alignment, you should be free of pain, and you should have normal function, right? And that's what normal is. So mind your fascia. Understand that you, at every moment, you have an opportunity to influence it. If you watch cats and dogs, every time they get up, they stretch, don't they? Right. Babies, they will do what? They'll yawn. Okay. But as we get older, we stop yawning. For some reason, we think that's juvenile, so we just don't yawn. And as we get older, we get stiff. Certain countries, like the United States. Again, you go to Africa, you go to Asia, you go to the Amazon. These people don't sit. They have no reason to sit. They squat. They reach up for the low-hanging fruit. They're always stretching their fascia. All right. My dogs, when they wake up, they stretch. Every 20 minutes, it seems like, they change positions, they stretch. When they see a squirrel in the backyard, they run, never pull a muscle. My 18-year-old cat can still jump over the fence. So, mind your fascia, and if you can't move your fascia, you go to somebody who can, like a massage therapist or a rolfer or a body worker. So that's your lesson for today. Thanks for stopping by. I'll talk to you guys soon.